Stranger Things is an evolution in the TV world, with its innovative characters and major plot twists. The conspiracies of the series revolve around science fiction and monsters, of course. Some characters in the storyline help move the journey forward when it comes to fighting off these monsters, while others, who either lack the intelligence or skill set, do not play much of a part. Although, it is quite evident that some characters on the show are way smarter than the others. Today, we have come up with a list of Stranger Things characters ranked by intelligence. On what basis are these characters going to be ranked? And who are the top 5 smarty pants on the show? Well, let's just find out, shall we? First up is Steve Harrington. Steve is not a clever character, but because of being a good comedian and a fan favorite, he had to make it to the list. He has contributed a lot to Stranger Things with his perfect comedic timing and banter. At the beginning of the show, Steve was an ordinary high school student who's focused on everything else besides studying. Although his character gets quite developed following his breakup and taking up an ice cream shop job, this course of events made him quite mature. Next on our list, Jonathon Byers. Being the brother of Will, Jonathon is quite a unique character on the show, and his personality is not given a lot of screen time in the initial seasons. It's when he opens up to Nancy Wheeler that is when he starts getting admiration from fans. He loves photography, especially dark photography, which is a bit weird, but that being his hobby makes a lot of sense. His creepy but natural philosophy helps us discover a lot of things. He is a man of many talents and comes up with great concepts, but given all of this, he's not quite wise, which is why he's placed on this list. 8 is Lucas Sinclair. Lucas has a well-defined comedic timing and is also a quite mature one in the group. He might not be the smartest one, but is quite wise. In the initial airing of the show, he was suspicious about Eleven and was also proven right. Lucas is sometimes the judge of the group and is also quite bossy at times. Being a person with well-reformed beliefs, he makes reasonable points in arguments. Lucas has stepped up in times of necessity a lot of times. In season 3, the biggest monster in the show appeared and he tried to shoot it with a slingshot. That might not be a lot, but it's the effort that counts at the end of the day. 7th on the list, Nancy Wheeler. Nancy is a refreshing character in the show. She is both instinctive and acute, and isn't cowardly toward battle. She is very brave and has an important reputation in the series. She is quite selfless and has faced near-death experiences a lot of times. Being a strong-headed character, she is also quite smart. Nancy's love interest with Jonathon proves that opposites attract. Her being a thoughtful person brings a lot to the relationship, and it's very prominent on screen as well. Number 6 is Will Byers. Will Byers is immersed in a series of tormenting visions and cannot get a break. He's a normal kid and really wants to have a normal life. All he wants to do is be with his friends and play games while going to school as normal children his age do. He is quite an intelligent kid with a nerdy side to him, and that is something he brings from within his personality. The reason why Mind Flayer is put down is solely that Will knows the Morse code and even comprehends the Upside Down without even realizing that he was doing anything. Now that's a skill. Will has been confronted with some harsh conditions, and the probabilities have always been against his favor, but his intellect and persistence will always survive. Don't go anywhere, because we are going to find out the top 5 smartest characters on the show. Some of them are shockers considering the gullibility or sensitivity of their personalities, but it should come as no surprise though. 5 is Joyce Byers. Joyce is a great mother, and her paternal instincts are very strong. There is no other character on the show with such soundness and resilience. She was a shield against the governmental institution, and this impacts the power they hold and the Demogorgon as well. She went through the whole season trying to get her son back, and that's really commendable. She's rarely wrong, and her opinions prove to be right in many ways. The instances that show her intelligence in life, her hypothesis on magnets, and also when her voice never gets unheard. As a mother, mother, she has a set of rules and principles, and she follows them by heart. This is one of the reasons she is quite a respected and intelligent character. At number 4 is 11. There are instances where 11 seems gullible or innocent as her character was developing. Although she has a good sense of judgment, and considering that she has a kind heart, she always navigates towards the right decisions anyway. Considering the circumstances she was brought up in, believing a new person is really hard. Although, after meeting Mike and co., she recognizes the significance of having friends by your side. 11 garners the ability to gather her power and relish the blessing granted to her. Some people think that 11 didn't make a smart decision about dating. Well, she's a pretty intelligent human being who has the capability of making her own decisions. She had plenty of time outside of Mike to grow and evolve. Her character in Season 2 is completely devoid of Mike and is about discovering herself and finding her mother and Callie. She's totally self-sufficient and can make her own verdicts. Just because 11 is behind socially doesn't mean she's unable to understand how she feels and make decisions for herself. Third is Jim Hopper. Hopper is also a very selfless and brave character on the show. Not only that, but he is also quite powerful and might be the most strong character on this list. Hopper proved in Season 1 that he was able to defend his friends. Being an intelligent character, he is very much admired by the fans because he has gone through a good amount of miseries. His courage does not go unseen by the audience, and neither does his quick and clever thinking. He has a good set of detective skills, which provide a good outlet for getting in and out of some dangerous spots. He realized that his house was bugged. Despite the comedic solace he provides, Hopper has his moments of brightness, and they are planned throughout the series. The way Hopper glimpsed little slight clues that the other cops omit when investigating Will's disappearance proves how intelligent he is. The way he can inherently comprehend a lead with instinct and logic. The way he can conclude the inconsistencies and indications about the lab that the others miss really say a lot about him. And in Season 2, after he returns to his house from the lab public, his instantaneous thought is that they will have bugged his house. It kind of breaks stereotypes. He's a small-town police chief, and his private life is tangled. He looks like a bit of a mess himself as well. He doesn't look like a regular intellectual. As most fictional characters are either brains or brawn, Hopper is both. Mike Wheeler is second. Mike is a loyal friend and is also kind of the leader of that group. He makes most of the decisions because of his remarkable intelligence and also navigates the plans. He doesn't leave his friends behind, even after getting into a relationship with 11. He tries to keep everyone together and close-knit. He thinks that groups must stick together and therefore keep all of them close, despite them not giving a lot of importance to 11. Mike has a good quality in that he doesn't ignore things, but rather goes out of his way for a solution. Even in 11's case, Mike was the only one who tried to help her while everyone else did. His soul kept the group alive and going through all the seasons. And finally, Dustin. Dustin has a kindness for sci-fi and is quite a scientist at heart. He is undoubtedly the smartest character in the show, and there are no contradictory opinions on this. He is very thoughtful and loving towards the people around him, including friends, family, and even demons. His smart and thoughtful opinions have saved a lot of people from extremely dangerous situations. He is also said to be the brain of the compass of the group. He was the one who found out the name of the Mind Flayer and how he flows to attack. Dustin is presumably one of the most precious characters in the show, and everybody loves Dustin. The reason people don't talk about him is that he is primarily a comedic character, and comedic characters like Dustin aren't supposed to be very complex. They are very one-dimensional. Let us know in the comments who you think is the smartest character on Stranger Things.